I've been using the Heartmath and biofeedback approach for about 2 years, mainly with individual sports people like squash players, fencers, skeet shooters, but the main area of my operation is actually within football. So I've been working with Premiership and Championship players, helping them to actually define their own version of getting in the zone. So there's times when, for example, actually they get really stressed, they get anxious about things. How can we train them using biofeedback technology to feel far more relaxed, to make better decisions, to really perform at their very, very best? So for some of the players that I've been working with, actually they have been so much better at actually controlling their anxiety. They feel much better actually when they're performing on the field, and in certain situations, particularly strikers, they feel so much more at home, so much more comfortable. So what I do with them is actually help not just do the usual visualizations that any sports psychologist would engage in, but actually to do the visualizations when they're actually in a coherent state, when they're using the biofeedback technology to really drive what they're thinking about. And it really has impacted on them very well, especially when they adhere to a training regime. Something else I ought to say actually is that the equipment itself has a huge buy-in factor, particularly with footballers, for example. They love the technology, it's very easy to work with. And in fact, I also should say that it's not just the players that I work with, it's managers and coaches too. It's a very stressful occupation, and that is, of course, primarily what this kit is aimed at achieving. So I find this particular form of biofeedback probably the simplest and easiest form of technology to actually work with. It's real time, it's simple to use, and the players get that feedback immediately. So we can use it with visualizations, we can use it on a whole host of things. There really is no end to its application. I think in the old days, people would say sit in a yoga lotus position or meditate, but actually, in fact, now what we've got is some kit that people can really buy into, that they can use. So they can visualize, for example, a pressure situation that would normally create anxiety for them, but now they can do it, still think of the pressure situation, but actually feel really, really calm and controlled inside. So they make the right decisions, so they are really creative in the way they play.